All right. We want to welcome you. We are so excited about this. We believe, you guys, this is going to be a historical night because we have never done this as a Wisdom Builders team, nor Neolife Corporate. So we are going to ask you if you could turn your videos on, please. I see most of you do have your videos on, so thank you. So let me ask you this. How many of you have smaller businesses than our core rank, which is executive manager? Raise your hand. Can we see some hands? So actually raise your hand. All right. I see some hands. Great. So we want to let you know this 30 days is designed to get you there. So you must be hungry to grow, coachable, and willing to do the work. So now let me ask you this. How many of you have executive manager or larger size businesses? Raise your hand. All right, good. So how many of you would like to add at least one executive manager to your business in March? So we're providing you a proven 30-day track to run on. And Elle and I were involved in the Eric Worre Mastermind. And this mastermind has proven it, you guys. It isn't just theory. We are seeing teams from all over the world and different businesses that are just crushing it and that are doing exactly this. Okay, I'm going to ask you $1 million question. Are you ready for it? All right, here we go. So if you knew that if you accomplished becoming an executive manager this month, or for those that already are, if you built one additional executive manager sized business of new volume, and let's just say, hypothetically, let's just say, we're not giving out this money, you'd earn $1 million guaranteed. How many of you think you'd accomplish it? I know I would. If you gave me $1 million, I would do anything it took. So I encourage you to treat this call and these next 4 weeks just like that. And make sure that your video is on, no multitasking. And that's something I usually don't do on other calls. And that's what I love about this business. You know, I could fold laundry or whatever, but for these next 4 weeks, we need to focus. Also, take notes, and I encourage you to take notes tonight and also do the work. So I now have the privilege to introduce someone that is, as you all know, if you don't know him, so fun-loving. He makes this business fun. He makes you laugh. We're actually related. Well, my husband's related to him. It's our cousin. And fun fact, I actually met him before my husband. I was his waitress years ago, believe it or not. And he's going to talk about the importance of core rank. So take it away, Dwight Johnson.
Nicole, thank you so much. And she says that we were real turkeys when we met her the first time. And I'm pretty sure she was talking about my brothers because I know I was just nothing but an angel. So it must have been my brothers who were the problem. But that being said, I am so excited to talk about core rank because to me, I feel like I've heard in other companies where people were hitting these titles and they had really cool titles. And I thought it was like Sapphire Director or higher. I thought these guys were just knocking it out of the ballpark. And when I realized that it was what we would call executive manager in Neolife, I realized that we were missing the boat. We were setting that first rung on the ladder too high. And so many people are struggling to get to that first rung. And yet you look at network marketing and you realize that executive manager is really the core to this whole business. It is the rank that we should all be aiming for. And once you hit that, you are making $300 to $800 a month. That is very game changing. You're also in the top 15% of network marketers. You have done it. You have cracked the code. You've learned what it takes. And it's so achievable because what we're looking at is in the next 30 to 90 days, if you put in a significant amount of effort, do you think you can reach this? And the answer is yes, absolutely. I'm not saying full-time, but I am saying get it, really determining that this is something you want and really reaching out of your comfort zone. And we'll explain later the steps to get there. But I just want to encourage you, executive manager, it never gets more complicated than this. It's a simple business. And as you hear from any businessman, all businesses start with conversations. And that's what this core rank is about: starting conversations, helping people, walk them through the process, and helping them build a business. And so I just want you guys to think, whether you have hit, Sapphire Director, Ruby, I don't care what your title is. Nicole, you did such a great job of talking about that. It always comes back to getting a few people to link arms with you, get on the product, catch a vision for this business, and getting to that 2,000 points. Once you do that, you turn around and you help the next person get to 2,000 points. And voila, you're a director. You're off and running. The momentum is built. You're now doing what Jesus created was discipleship. And I want you to treat this like it was a documentary. My brother Chad always says, your life should be like a movie that you would want to watch with your kids and grandkids. And so treat this moment, document it, take notes, take photos, whatever it takes. Take that list, frame that list of 100 people that you're going to talk to, and document the challenge. Because if you guys get in this thing and treat it like you're in it to win it, you're going to be able to use that for the rest of your life to teach other people how to become an executive manager and how to get them out of jail. A lot of people don't know that cubicle that they're in from 9 to 5 is actually a jail cell. It's just minor security. And so I want to help you guys find a way to get out of jail, and then you turn around and help others get that freedom that this business offers. So that being said, we're going to give you some details on what it takes in order to get out of jail and get that freedom. And I'm so excited to be handing over to Josh Clark. Josh Clark, a lot of you guys know him. If you don't, you must be new to the game, because this guy has crushed it with his own business. He's helped change a ton of things over at corporate. And now he's back in the trenches with us, knocking out of the ballpark with his beautiful wife. Josh, please.
Thank you, Dwight. Well, what an exciting evening this is. I'm as Alan said, so excited to see so many people registered for this event. And I can hardly stand just to think about the impact that's going to happen as we focus on core rank, the impact that's going to happen in terms of health transformations, in terms of business transformations. So let's jump right in and let's take a closer look at what is core rank. As Dwight said, the average core rank in this company earns $500 to $800. So that's really nice part-time income for something that I'm going to show you that you could do in as little as a month, or it's entirely up to you how long you want to take. As Zig Ziglar used to say, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to the top. The view at the top is the same for us all. However, the sooner you do it, the sooner you put that cash in your pocket, and the sooner you show your team what is possible. And maybe you're already there, but as Nicole said, as Dwight said, it's not about just, getting there ourselves. But Nicole talked about, if you're there, you want to help other people get there, right? And the sooner we do that, the sooner we show people what is possible, and the greater the impact. Okay, so here we go. You ready? I'm going to pull up the slide here. All right, here we go. So becoming an executive manager is halfway to director. Now, if you're brand new, you might be saying, what's director? All right, don't worry about that for a moment. But for those of you who know, you're halfway to director. And so this is a really significant accomplishment in the business. In fact, hitting executive manager means you could go past, I've seen this happen many times, go past manager, go past senior manager, and go straight to executive manager. I mean, doesn't executive sound the best, right? Why be a manager if you can be an executive manager, right? But here's a model, here's an idea of how you could go about building it. But wait, before you look at it, let me just say this, pretend you never saw anything. It's only about doing 2,000 point business. It doesn't matter how it looks, how it's structured. I love that because I've seen so many compensation plans with other companies where it's like, you got to balance this and you got to do this and stand on your hands and, walk on your toes and whatever. I'm trying to walk around my hands and I'm not very good at that. So it's a good thing this thing is simple. I need simple. So it's just about going out there, sharing and caring. And if you do that, you can get here. I've seen people didn't have a clue how to structure their business, didn't have a clue how to do it. They just went out and shared and cared and they hit it. Okay. Using our system. However, take a look at this. See my little cursor here? This is you. Let's say you go out there and you get 3 customers. We call them members of our wellness club. Just 3. Well, what does that mean? If they're on a core 3 products, which is the Pro Vitality and the protein there, makes up what we call a breakfast solution, you add the Elevate, now you just elevate it to a whole nother level, right? And those are our three most popular products. When they're combined together, it's magic happens right there, right? And we've been seeing that ever since Elevate came out. It's absolutely magical. I had one during my CrossFit workout. I had another one this afternoon. So, I know what I'm talking about. I know you do too. So you start 3 members on this. Guess what? Your health solution is free the next month. Okay. Wow. Exciting, right? Now, what if you went out there and I meant to show you this one. You get 3 promoters. All right. 3 promoters, and you help them each do the same thing you did. Now they're getting their products for free, and they're also earning a commission. They're growing, their business is growing. Now you're there. Again, you can do this as soon as 1 month. All right, now look at the income there. You can make over $1,000, and your free products, anywhere from 150, 200 plus in free product, depending on the core 3. But I'd recommend, depending on the products you start them on, but we recommend the core 3. Okay. Now, some of you may be listening and you're saying, that's all fine and well, Josh, but you know what? I don't have a single promoter in my team, and I don't know if I could get a promoter this month. Well, I'm here to tell you, with the tools we have, with the videos we have, I know you can, but that's okay. Maybe you don't have that. Maybe you're not quite there yet. Seeing is believing. You've not seen it yet, and you're like, I don't know. But I know the products are great. I get a lot of customers. Okay, well, let's look at a model where all you do is just get customers. So you get 3 members. You go out there and help 3 other members get 3. Same business. Actually, your sales volume bonus is a little bit higher. But now let's go a step further. For those of you who are saying, okay, you know what? I don't know if I could get anybody to refer 3 people to me. But what I could do is go out there and get 8 members that have a significant other, a spouse. So let's say you have 8 couples. Each of these in this scenario are couples. Guess what that would be? 2,000 points. I did this when I was 18 years old, buck tooth, big old gap between my tooth, scared to death. Every conversation was like I was on a high dive jumping. I mean, that was literally what would come to my mind. I'm like, I feel like I'm on a high dive, like I always was, scared to death to do that dive. But I knew I had to do it because I was going to change someone's life. Okay, so you can absolutely do this. Now, what if you can't find any couples? All you know is single people. I know some single people on this call. I know some young guns that are, I'm so excited to see them building their business. And they might say, I could go out there though, and I could get 16 customers. Guess what? That does it too. Like I said, very, very simple. But finally, I want to remind you, this is the model that I would recommend. And I'm going to close on. I would recommend this be your goal. It probably won't look exactly like this, but you got to have a vision. You got to have a plan to go out there, right? Something in your mind to strive for. Here's a good plan to strive for. You're looking for 3 members, and you're looking to find 3 promoters and help them do the exact same thing. And you, my friend, will be an executive manager, and you go out there and you help double that business right there. You're a director. You go out there and help develop 6 of those, you're making on average over 100,000 a year. It's that simple. Comes back to core rank. Let's go out there and duplicate that. Yes. Alan, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. Yeah, that is so exciting. Every time I see that model, I'm just like, this is so doable, so doable. The one thing I want to touch on here real quick before I introduce the next speaker is the importance of our mindset. It's one thing to see diagrams that Josh just showed you, to understand the foundational importance of this executive manager, or core rank, as we call it, model. It's one thing to intellectually understand that. It's another thing to see the target that Josh just gave you, and we're going to give you tactics and strategies and all that too here tonight and moving throughout the month. But if we don't have our minds in the right place, we're not going to have the success that we desire. And, I'll never, ever forget interviewing a Heisman Trophy winner on my podcast and him saying he just doesn't like the word try. He said, try to do something. What? Try to do something? He goes, that's already accepting failure as an option. if you're going to try to do it. Don't try to do it. Do it. It was his point. And, you know, that really applies right here. There are some of you that are going to go out today, starting now, and you are going to hit core rank in 30 days. Dwight said this should be something that is doable with some significant effort in a 30 to 90 day window. And it is. Some of you will do it in this 30 days. Some of you will do it in 60 days. Some of you will do it in 90 days. There is no wrong answers. It's whatever you want. What timeline do you want? But first and foremost, let me tell you this. You've got to make a decision. And I hope you've already made it. But if you haven't made it, right now is the time to say, because anything that is important to do, if it's important to you, you do, right? Anything that's important to you, you absolutely will do. Same with me. And so we've got, if this is important to you, and that's another thing. If it's not, that's a whole nother story. But for those, you're on this call, you're in this challenge, I'm assuming it's important to you. If that's true, then we must make it non-negotiable. It can't be negotiable, you know, whether we're going to do the things. It can't be negotiable whether or not we're going to hit the challenges that we set out to do. All right. And, you know, there can't be any rationalizing. There can't be any debating. This is what goes on in our heads. So just know this ahead of time. There can't be any of that rationalizing. It's got to be, I'm doing it, period. And if it helps you to get a little bit mad, I don't know a better way to say it. Maybe mad's not the best word. Jim Rohn calls it, you know, mad, like mad in the sense that I'm not living up to my potential. I'm not doing what I'm capable of. I'm not doing what God's called me to do. I'm not doing what God's equipped me to do. And I'm letting some little something right here hold me back. And I am done with that. That's what I'm talking about, getting mad. Jim Rohn, for those of you that know who Jim Rohn is, he called it the day that turns your life around. I saw a reel that Dave Ramsey did the other day, and he was same concept. He's like, until you get mad at your debt, he was talking about debt and money, you're probably not going to do what it takes to get rid of it. And I just want to tell you, the same principle applies here. Not that you have to get mad. You don't have to get mad. I'm saying it might help you to get mad, but do whatever it takes to help you make a commitment. Stop negotiating with yourself. Stop giving yourself an out. And make it happen, because we're going to make it as simple as we possibly can for you to succeed. So, question. Am I the only competitive one? Is there anybody else? Drop a 1 in the chat for me. Just put a 1 in the chat if you would say, yeah, I could be a little competitive. I mean, I'm a little competitive. You know, maybe I'm competitive with others. Maybe I'm competitive with myself. But yeah, I can be competitive. Look at all those ones. I love it. Joy. She put like 20, I don't know, I didn't count them that fast. 31s. I love it. Look at all the ones. So this is what I want to challenge you to do. Here's your first challenge. Tell your upline or sideline or whoever you want to hold you accountable, anybody that you care to share this with, that you're going to make this happen. Like, verbalize it to somebody who cares. I said your upline because your upline probably cares, but there might be somebody else that cares even more. Verbalize it to somebody. Find somebody, just some little tips. Do that. Find somebody. Here's another tip. Find somebody to compete with / run with. Like when I first started doing triathlons, I lived near Josh Clark, and Josh and I, we trained together, we ran together, we raced together, and we were competitive. Sometimes I'd beat him, then he'd get mad. No, and then he would train a little harder and beat me at the next race. It was like that kind of healthy competition makes both parties way better than they would have been on their own. So that's what I'm talking about. Find somebody to compete with, find somebody to run with, find somebody that can, you know, push you, cheer you on, celebrate your victories, even when they beat you or when you beat them. And last thing before I introduce Marilee is, for all of you on the call, Nicole addressed this to a degree that all of us that are executive managers and higher already, we've already hit the core rank and beyond. Let's start today at 0. Let's start at 0 like the brand new promoter that joined our team 2 hours ago and is on this call. Hey, Jermaine. Let's start at 0 just like everybody else that's starting at 0. I don't care if you're 10 years or 9 years in the business, building the business like we've been for the last 9 years. Let's start at 0 in our minds, and let's humble ourselves to do the that is necessary to create another executive manager size business, another core rank within our business over this next 30 days. And if we fail and it takes us 60 days, that's a win, isn't it? Too. Okay. So that's what I want to say. Let's make sure our mind's right. Let's make the commitment. Let's make it happen. With that, I want to introduce Marilee. Marilee is the other half of Dwight Johnson, who you heard from 2 speakers ago, who is my cousin's wife, amazing wife. And by the way, Dwight and Marilee have a president's team size business in volume. I mean, it is a multi-million-dollar a year business. That amount of Neolife products, a 6-figure income earner in Neolife, and they're just amazing people. So Marilee, I know you've got some great stuff to share. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Alan. I'm super excited to be here with everybody. Everyone, I mean, there's several of you that have been on your journey for a while and several of you that are just starting. And when Alan was talking about this topic of core ranked, one of the things that came to mind was credibility. I don't know if we've ever considered that, but I know we all start at some place in our journey when we start talking to people. And credibility is a big deal. People are buying you, they're buying your passion, your belief, like how high your belief is in the products. They're buying you. And so you want to make sure that you come across super well, of course. But I mean, we're all on the journey, we're learning. But when I started this journey, I didn't know the first thing about nutrition. I don't know that I ever would have considered myself a health expert or a business expert. I don't think any of us really think of ourselves as experts in these areas, but we all start at some place. And so it's important to remember that you can start anywhere, but at the same time, we can all grow and we can develop the skills that are necessary to become even more credible. We can, if we're sharing health products, we can further our health so that we become more credible in the area of health. As business builders, we can become more credible as business builders. I remember listening recently to Jerry Brasfield, the founder or owner of Neolife, and he was talking about when he first started with network marketing, he realized as an 18-year-old that he didn't have a lot of credibility in sharing a business plan. Here he was 18 and fairly broke. How could he share a business plan and tell people about an opportunity that was going to help benefit them financially when he was only 18 and hadn't done it himself yet? So he went and found other people who had the successes and linked arms with them, brought them in and brought other people to them so that he could bring someone more credible than himself. So I feel like that's a really great thing for all of us to remember as we're on this journey is we can always grow in any area, but also we have so many people that we can reach out to and rely on and bring in as third-party people that have that credibility. And so I just wanted to encourage everybody with that and remind you that it's a journey. So I don't know how to end. I'm going to go ahead. Let me actually introduce you again, or Alan, or turn it back over to you so you can keep going. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marilee. Okay. So good. So good. I love that Marilee shared that. And just remember that for those of you that just feel like you're lacking that credibility, borrow somebody else's. If you're lacking confidence, borrow somebody else's. If you're lacking proof, we have the clinical proof. USDA proved it. Texas A&M proved it. Plenty of people have proved our products work. But if you're lacking the outward proof that products work, borrow somebody else's proof, borrow their confidence, borrow their belief. I love that so much. Thank you, Marilee. Don't let your lack of be an excuse or limiting belief that's going to hold you back. I want to talk just a little bit about moving into conversations. And as we know, and Dwight mentioned this earlier in the call, all business is conversation. And it really helps me to really break things down to like simplicity of things because I'm very analytical. I'm very numbers driven, very analytical, very technical. It's the way my mind works. And so what the downside to that is I can overcomplicate things. I want to know the answers to everything. I want to have all my I's dotted and my T's crossed and blah, blah, blah. And it can get a lot in my head. And so a lot of times I kind of have to like detox my brain in the context of this business, I mean, and go, okay, let's just clear all this stuff. And let's just come back to the simplicity of the business. And the simplicity, and I don't know if I'm the only one, you can drop a 2 in the chat if you ever overcomplicate this business and it starts to get complicated and hard. Maybe I'm the only one, but feel free to drop a 2 if you can relate with that. That's me. So what I do is I come back to going, well, okay, let's clear the noise. And what is the business about? What is this most simple elementary part of it? And there's just, you can count them on one hand, the things that we do in this business. And I'm not going to go through them all, but the first one is conversation. And it's kind of the center. It's the core. It's the core of everything we do. And so that's the most important element of success in this business. So if you want to be successful in this business, well, then we need to master the art of conversations. You want a note to write down? Have a goal. Master the art of conversations. I love that Marilee shared that with me the other day. Like, we need to really, what we do is, she said, we need to master the art of conversations. I'm like, yes. How do we do that? We got to be authentic. We need to be authentic. Okay. We need to provide solutions to people that they actually want. Imagine that. We've got to not be, what do we not be? We need to not be manipulating. We need to not be sleazy. We need to not be looking for angles and ways to work things against people and for our benefit. I like to remember and keep in mind that I am a professional friend maker. Does anybody like that idea? You're a professional friend maker. I'm not a cold market spammer. I'm not someone that chases off all my friends or people that could have been my friends that I scared off. I'm a professional friend maker, And on that point, we have to communicate from enthusiasm. You need to communicate from belief. You need to communicate from confidence, not communicate from fear and doubt and insecurity. And hey, we all have, you're going, okay, I don't know if I can do this business then. I have fear and doubt and insecurity that I have to deal with, that I have to take those thoughts captive. I have to, take control of that by God's grace. I have faced those things. I think everyone on this call, if they were honest, faces fear, faces doubt, faces our own insecurity. But we have to, I'm saying it because we have to intentionally exude belief and confidence and enthusiasm, and I have to remind my face, I'm happy. I'm happy in here. Well, I got to remind my face I'm happy so others can see that. These are little things that make big differences when we communicate with people. Also, we need to realize that we are not the salespeople. We are not the message. We are the messenger. We're the guide. You want another note? You're the guide. You're the messenger. You're pointing, you're guiding, directing. You're the connector. You want another word? You're a connector. You're connecting people with needs with solutions. You're connecting people with needs with third party, not you, information, education, Zooms, videos, other people, three-way chats, these sorts of things, right? But back to this, all business is conversation. So we need to start conversations. That makes sense. So I can simplify. Okay, business is conversation. Okay, do I do this on Instagram, TikTok? Do I do Reels? Do I do this? Do I do that? Don't worry about all that. Okay, right now, let's go. Okay. Not that all that's bad. And there's great stuff there. And I love all that stuff. But I'm just saying, let's distill it down. We need to start conversations. How do we start conversations? We say hello. Hi, how are you? How have you been? What's been going on? What are you up to lately? How are the kids? How's the family? How's the job? Oh, how long have you been doing that? You must love it. No, you don't? Oh, really? Well, why are you still doing it? Have you ever considered doing something else? Like, genuinely be interested in others and just start conversations. Hello. And we're going to discover needs, and we're going to pique their interest because we're going to share our 60-second infomercial, our story, our experience, why we're excited about our business, why we're excited about the products, why we're excited about the amazing business partners and community we're a part of, whatever it is, right? And then we're going to connect them, guide. Remember, we're guiding, we're connecting. We're the messenger. We're the messenger, getting them to the message. We're not the message. So that's really the simplicity of the business. And we are going to take this piece by piece, block by block, brick by brick over this 30 days. And if you go really slow and you wait for what the next brick is, and not just go all out action on the bricks you do have delay, then you're not going to probably go from 0 to executive manager core rank in a month. And that's okay if that's okay with me, if it's okay with you. So what I'm going to suggest you do is take action, substantial action on the bricks that we give you to lay until the next time we meet, and we'll give you more. And you take massive action on those bricks. And then we'll give you more in the 3rd week and in the 4th week. And like I said, some of you are going to have some incredible results in this 30, 60, and 90-day window, assuredly. Mark my words. Okay. So all business is conversation. I want everyone to take a deep breath for a moment. Can you do that? Okay. You got a deep breath. Okay. What if you make a decision today that between right now, well, when this call's over, okay, and next Monday's call, however many hours that is, I forget how many hours are in a week, but 7 days from now, you will just start, bear with me, 100 conversations. 100 conversations. What if you do that? What if you committed to that? What if you said, no, I'm going to put some action with my decision, and I would do that? And what if you didn't worry about how you're going to do it right now? What if you just made the decision? I will start 100 conversations through text, through tape, through phone, in person, however you do it. What if you did that? If you will start 100, this is what I want to tell you. If you will start 100 conversations in the next 7 days, and you will work with your upline to keep those conversations going and look for a moment to pivot those conversations. And we'll talk about that. Nick will talk about that here in just a moment. You will have results. You will have enrollments, and your business will grow. And just to speak for anyone, I just imagine when I put this challenge out for starters, that there's got to be people on the call that are like, wow, are you kidding me? That's a lot. So I want to just quickly introduce somebody to you. This lady, Erica Reister, new promoter. Jen and Matt Case's organization just joined as a promoter, I don't know, a few days before the month of February end. Enrolled a few people then in February, almost hit senior manager, I think, in 4 or 5 days in the business. I don't know what she's done this month because the website hadn't reset last I looked. I know she's got a few signups this month, but she is putting Nicole in so many 3-way chats. It's not even funny, and just doing some amazing things. But we were talking the other day about conversations. I mean, she texted us one day and she said, yeah, I only had 20 conversations today. It was a low day. And I said, Erica, will you just share, because we went to dinner and she was sharing some of the perspective with Nicole and I of where she kind of came from. And she's not a numbers person, and I'll let her share her story. But I said, you need to share this. People need to hear where you were, where you are, and why you are where you are now mentally when it comes to numbers. So Erica, take it away. Thank you for being willing to share here for a couple minutes.
Thank you, Alan. So like you said, I'm Erica. It's good to see everybody. I was in another health and wellness space previously. It's been a few years. And then I found Neolife and joined as promoter. The rest is kind of history. But like Alan said, I'm not the numbers person. I'm definitely a people person. Quality time is my number one love language. So I want to talk to all the people. I want to love on them, and I want to journey with them. And the numbers aren't really at the forefront of my mind. But my husband, on the other hand, is a numbers guy. So he's all about numbers and data and show it to me. And when I was working my previous business, we had a conversation one day, and he wanted to know how many people I had talked to that day. And I was like, I don't know. And he basically introduced me to the realization that if I don't know how many people I'm talking to, I'm not able to track my consistency in the business. And so I continuing to keep my my quality time and all the love I have for people, I also had to learn to embrace the numbers at the same time. And it was a little bit of a process, but once I got the hang of it, it became, it became second nature for me. So if I'm already being intentional with people, I'm already talking to people every day, whether it's in Messenger or text or people that I see face to face at lunches or even at work. it only makes sense to track those conversations. And numbers don't run us. We have to run the numbers. So when we keep track of our conversations that we're having versus the number of signups that result from the authentic conversations, then that gives us the information that we need. So we know exactly how many people we need to talk to every day to build the business that we want or to reach our goals. And going in depth on that is definitely another conversation or training for a different day, because there's a lot to it. But just having those authentic conversations and then also keeping track of it is that's where it's at. And so that's just a little snippet of kind of where background and how I've embraced the numbers, even though I'm not a numbers person. Since the 29th of February, so last day of the month, to today, I've had approximately 50 conversations. I used to keep track of it with a counter. I need to probably start doing that again, but I went back and physically counted, and it was about 50. And that's from working my posts on socials. I've had a few in-person interactions, and then also some text messages. And out of those 50, I've been able to move about 22 to 23 of those conversations to three-way messages with Nicole, like Alan said. And I say 22 or 23 because I think I still have one that I need to start that I talked to earlier today that I haven't done. So, and moving those conversations with her into a three-way is when people ask me for information and want to know what it is that I'm doing. And if I haven't had a chance to get on the phone with them, then that's when I'll go ahead and start that three-way conversation, even if we are going to have a phone call. And I introduce them to Nicole, and I send them the information. And that also gives Nicole, or whoever is in your upline that you're starting these three-way conversations with, an opportunity to share their story, so they can hear someone else's experience on product, and not just my experience or someone in my family's experience. They get to hear from a stranger. And sometimes we all know that hearing from someone you don't know can be very impactful. And so that's, been my experience in this just a short few days. So out of those 22 conversations, we've gotten about 4 new club members, and there's probably, I would say, 10 to 12 of those people who are seriously considering placing an order, and they're also waiting for the health talk that we're having later this week. So it's not no's, they're just not yet. And so if I want more people or more customers and more signups, then I need to increase my conversations. And I use those numbers and embracing the numbers to gauge how many more conversations I need to have so I can meet the goals that I have for my business. I do work full time, so I don't always have time to sit down and have all my conversations at one time. So I've had to learn to prioritize the time that I do have, even when I have really busy days. So just gauging however much time you think you need to have conversations, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or whatever time you want to invest in your business each day. I look at my calendar. I live and breathe by the calendar, and everything goes on the calendar. And if I have a white spot of space where I know I don't have anything and I can have 5 conversations in that white space, I put it on the calendar, and I use that few minutes to start those conversations, or to post on social media, or to respond to those text messages and have those conversations. Don't overwhelm yourself. Set the goal that you feel like you need. I mean, Alan put the number 100 out there. It might seem like a scary number, but it's definitely very doable. And set that for this week, and be intentional about having those authentic conversations. And just making the little sacrifices along the way helps to build freedom for you in the future.
I love it. Thank you so much, Erica. I really appreciate last minute me asking you to come on here and be an amazing case study to what we're talking about here. I know that inspires Nicole and I know I see heads nodding. I know it inspires everybody else too. By the way, Erica and her husband Emil are people you're definitely going to want to meet at retreat in April, and they're already registered and on their way. So are coming. So it's going to be an amazing April 12th through the 14th, you all. And you know, I love what she shared. By the way, and I know this, we're going to get into three-way chats more later on in the month, but I love that it doesn't even have to be upline. I mean, I know Lisa Whitman and others are using, I know Lisa was putting sideline people, not even in her team, you know, Callie's and Rebecca's and different ones. And I know they're doing that. I mean, I put someone in a group chat. Well, I mentioned, I called you out earlier, Jermaine, who just joined us today, but last week with our upline, with our sideline, and with our downline, all in one chat. So don't also limit, you know, the third party being to just upline. And I know Erica would agree with that too. But okay, so here's the challenge. I said it before. Let's bring it home. And I'm going to share my screen. So if you go, not right now, but after the call, if you go back to the All Promoters Telegram chat, you'll see a link to this document that I'm going to show you right now. And you don't have to use this. Okay, you don't have to use this, but there's a link. So you can go print this PDF out if you would like. It's 100 boxes for 100 names. So here's my challenge. The challenge ultimately is to have 100 conversations between now and Monday. Just start them. Just start them. Some of them might carry on for the entire month. Some of them might carry on for the next year before the person you even have an opportunity to invite them, or who knows. Okay. But just start them. So don't get overwhelmed by that. Hi, how are you? How's your day? I started a conversation. Next, if it's text. Okay. So just don't overcomplicate it, but 100. So that's the ultimate challenge. But the other thing is to write them down. I don't care if you use this document I showed you. I don't care if you use an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care if you use some other app or some CRM. It doesn't matter to me. But here's what matters to me for your sake is that you write them down. When you have 100 conversations, how in the world do you even know who you had the 100 conversations with after the fact to even circle back around and continue the conversation if you haven't written it down? And I would even argue it might be kind of nice to write the list like Johnny Trokey did within an hour. He sat down and banged out 100 names of people he know. My suggestion is start with the people you know best. Start with your hot market. And we'll get more into hot and warm and all that, what that even means. Don't worry about that right now. But what I mean by hot is you're stranded on the side of the road because you had a flat tire, you ran out of gas, or locked your keys in your car, and you don't have AAA. Who are you calling that you think might actually come? That's your hot list. Start with those and then move to your warm list. Josh talks about starting with his mailman as UPS driver. He knew them. He might have known their name. He might not have known their name. That's warm market. Cold market is your stranger. You don't know them at all. All right. But so start with hot market. That's easier. Everybody that would come, I'd call to help me. Okay. Now let's keep going. Let's go to warm market. Everybody else I know. Okay. Get that list of 100. Then you can start the conversations. I don't care if you make the list and you say, I'm not going to bed tonight without having my list, spending that hour and having my list. Or you say, I am not going to bed tomorrow night for you East Coasters that are ready for bed here in a few minutes. I'm not going to bed tomorrow night till I spend an hour and write the list. And then I'm going to have 6 days left to start the conversations, or you do a combination of both. But the challenge is twofold. Write down 100 names and start 100 conversations. There's a third part to it. And this is the easy part. Ready? You know, we talked about like planting your flag, kind of stake, you know, saying, hey, I'm done with this. I'm going to make this happen. Okay, here's another thing for you. And this is also in the Telegram chat. There's a link to this document. Please click on it and go to this Google Doc and just type your name either under 100 conversations. I'm asking you to commit to 100, but some of you are not going to do that. And that's okay. Because some of you might say, I'm totally fine getting to core rank in 90 days. I don't care about getting to it in 60 days or in this 30-day window. Fine. No problem. It's your business. If you don't want to start 100 conversations this week, you want to do 50, then put your name under 50. Real simple. Just put your name there. Okay. Or put it under 25 if you only want to do 25 this week. That's fine. Or say, I'm going to make a run because I want to make a run at executive manager this month and hit core rank, and put your name under the 100 column. All right, that's it. Just put your name under one of those and please do that. And you know what? We're going to shout you out no matter what you choose, because any one of those three answers. Okay, now you get to drop a 3 in the chat. Ready for this question? Drop a 3 in the chat. If any one of those 3 is going to be more new conversations than you started last week. And if the answer is yes, that's called progress. And that's called growth. Okay. That's a good thing. So you choose one of those, you get to put your name in there and that's it. Okay. That being said, I want to turn it over to Nick Gavrilov for something very, very important, because when we start these conversations, remember I told you, don't worry about what you do with the conversation. Just start it. Just start it. That is true. But we want to go one little step further, because what we don't want to do is make the pivot wrong. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nick to talk about what do you do when you're having the conversation, and how do you not have an endless conversation, but an intentional conversation to pivot to having a chance to invite them to looking at a solution to their needs, which may be this business, it may be these products, it may be this community, it may be the personal growth opportunity we have with the compensation plan attached, or all the above. Nick, over to you. Nick's rocking it. This guy's making it happen. He's a recruiting machine, he and his wife, Lena. So listen up.
Good evening, everybody. So 100%, before I go into the details, I just want to say we are here because we want to grow. Like this is like a 10x. This is not, I'm going to try this out and see if it works for me. Like this is all about numbers, and 100% this will succeed, right? So I agree with the challenge, right? So the 15 a day, you guys, I mean, just think about that. I mean, it can be as simple as a 10-second typing somebody a thoughtful message, right? And it all comes down to 15 a day, like someone already said in the chat. That's all it is, right? And how do you go from making that happen? You write it down. Erica was talking about the planner, right? So write it down on your calendar. I'm going to reach out to 15 people a day. Right. So this morning I finished, I was on a run and I finished a book on discipline, on business, and equipping your children. And one of the things that Dr. North mentioned was you need to teach your children 2 things. That's discipline and frugality. But why discipline? Because discipline is huge for all winners and all success. You have to have discipline. You have to have that planner, and that planner is helping you become the person that you want to be. So anyways, that should only take about 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes maximum per day, and you remaining consistent. All right. So as we already talked about, building rapport is not just a must, but guys, it is the only way, right? It's 100% needed. And, so something to keep in mind is that when we are talking to people, we are going to have about 50 conversations for someone to say, yeah, sure, man, absolutely. Let's go, sign me up. Right. So that's only like 1 in 15. That's in sales. We all know that. So expect a no. Expect that someone's going to say, hey, you know what? Maybe not just now, maybe later, or hey, thank you so much for the info, right? But the seeds have been sown, right? And the second thing we talked about is engaging with them and asking great questions and open-ended questions, right? Don't answer your own questions, but instead do the 90-10 rule, the 90-10% rule. So listen more and talk less. But here's what I want to talk to you about is the ask. The ask is the hardest, but it's the most thing that you absolutely have to do to move and go from here to here, right? Asking questions. So I love the phrase that I've learned from Alan is the I don't know question. The I don't know question, it always gives people like a way out. But at the same time, it's a huge warm welcome. It's like, hey, I don't know, but, right? So I don't know if this would be a fit for you as you're talking, as you're asking the questions, and as you're hearing and listening to them, and you're just pivoting from, hey, it's time to ask them the question. I don't know if you'll be fit for this or not. But I heard you say that you've tried a home business or multiple home businesses and you failed. But you have such a big heart. And I love, the fact that you love on people. Would you be open to learning more about what I do or what my wife and I do or what we do as a family, and also provide you the tools for your success, right? So, or I don't know if the timing is right for you right now. And no worries either way, but you mentioned you have medical bills or debt piling up. Would you like to know how we paid off our debt by working from home? just using a cell phone. That's it. And a cell phone and a notepad. I don't know if you're open to looking at something or not. And no big deal either way, but I know y'all are about to have a baby. Woohoo! Right? And your wife is going to be staying at home. Are you open to making an extra part-time or full-time pay? Are you open for that? And again, you're asking that question. Hey, I love that you help people get fit or whatever they're helping them with, right? You're helping them with cars, or you're helping them with hair or nails or whatever it is. Would you be open if I shared with you on how you can make a second stream of income along your journey? I don't know if you're looking for a third or fifth stream, right? Joke with them, laugh with them. I don't know, but hey, are you open? You mentioned that you are currently looking for a job. Am I crazy for wondering if you may be open to looking on what I am doing now to add extra income to my family budget? And that income is not just a few $100s, but it's a few zeros on the end. I mean, it's really all comes down to you. Another one I like is I know you're really busy and I love how disciplined you are. I'm drawn to disciplined people. I know disciplined people will always achieve more because they're consistent, they're go-getters. But hey, our company is growing and I thought it was something I should at least ask you if this is something that we can explore. And if not, that's no problem. Again, you're creating this door. That door is right there. It's open. I'm inviting you, and Alan talked about this, in the beginning, like we're not here to make a sale. We're here to provide them information, and it's their decision to make. They're the ones who can be driving this for us. So last one is you mentioned how tired you are with your boss or your company. That was me, you guys. That was me. Don't quit, but instead, I really believe you can start making extra money that can later replace your full-time job. This is very simple, and I'm sure that you can carve out 1 to 2 hours per week or more. Again, you're going to drive your own success. If you have 1 hour a week, that's how we started. Or if you're going to 2 hours, that's where we're at now, plus more, right? You're going to be driving that for us. And again, we're here. I'm so excited that this is going to be like 10x. I know it's going to work because it all comes down to numbers. It all comes down to the amount of conversations you're going to have. So again, when you're talking to them and making that pivot, encourage them about whatever they're doing already and ask. You have to ask. Guys, is this something that you can do? If so, drop a 4. Come on now, drop a 4 in the chat right now. I just want to see all of you who are going to be doing this challenge. Boom, Jaden, Darren, yes, Kenneth, Raylan, Isabella, woo, Michelle, Kristen, and all of you guys. So I'm so excited. Guys, I hope this was helpful. And Alan, my sir, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Man, it fires me up just hearing you talk. Hey, by the way, do you notice the context of what Nick was saying there? That was solid gold, but the context was the business. So some of you that are like, how do I get the promoters? Well, let me ask you, are you asking these questions? Are you excited? I've said for quite a while now, who wants to, and you can just raise your physical hand like this, if you want to find somebody who's enthusiastic about the business like you, that is excited, that is positive, that is building, that is grow. Okay. So how do we get those? We got to be those first and foremost. And then we've got to have these conversations. How would anybody know that you're excited and enthusiastic about an incredible business if we're not talking about it and we're not asking people these very great questions that Nick just shared in a very non-spammy, non-salesy, non-threatening way? They're either open or they're not. But this is a great way to get the truth of whether they're open there or not without them putting their guards up and it being a no because they have to protect themselves from us, diarrhea of the mouth or whatever, commission breath. We don't want to do that. So that being said, getting ready to turn it over to you, Chelsea, here in just a moment, but I want to screen share my screen one more time. And I want to show you, if you don't know, we have a team calendar. So in this over this next week until we meet again next Monday, and don't miss these calls. Each week is going to be power packed. And please, thank you all for being on time. You won't want to miss any bit of it. But in these 100 conversations, or some of you 50 or 25, that you're going to start this week, you are going to pivot some of them. Pivot meaning transition to inviting, right? And some of them are going to say yes. So how do they learn? How do they learn more? Invite them to a Facebook group, tag them in a video, text them a video, invite them on a Zoom. There's a lot of, do a coffee shop meeting with them. There's many ways to get information to them, but we want you to know we have scheduled events for you to invite to, okay, for next week. So we have a team calendar. If you don't know about the team calendar, you need to be in Telegram and it's in the Telegram chat called Links and Incentives, where you would find links and incentives like a link to our team calendar. Okay, with me? All right. And that's how you would end up here at the team calendar. You'd find the link there. I'm going to show it to you. But when you end up here and you look at March and you go to here we are on March 4th. Okay, if you can see my screen, March 4th. But if you look at next week, right down here, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 16th on Saturday, there are events to invite to. Every night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at, I'm going to use Eastern time to keep it simple, 8 p.m. Eastern, there's a 30-minute health talk. An hour later at 9 p.m. Eastern on those same 3 nights, there is a business opportunity informational Zoom. Okay. So you have a health talk to invite to at 8 p.m. Eastern, a business opportunity for those that want to learn about the business at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Zoom. You say, what's the link to those? Click on this, and it will take you, there's the Zoom link. Okay. You just click on it on the calendar. It'll give you the Zoom link. By the way, the Zoom link is the same for the health talk, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Same link all 3 nights. It's different, but the same link for the business talk, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, Saturday, we're doing them at 2 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Eastern, health and business. On Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Eastern. So you've got 8 events all next week to be inviting people to this week, but you don't have to wait. We've got videos, we got Facebook groups, got plenty of things, but just know that there is also an event to invite them to. We have that on the calendar. You can go look that up. And with that, I want to stop sharing my screen. And I think it's time to introduce you, Chelsea, as we begin to wrap this up, to talk about our recognition program for this next 30 days that you all are a part of. And Chelsea is the better 3/4, if you don't mind me saying that, Josh, like I say about my wife, of the Josh and Chelsea Clark team that you heard from Josh earlier, showing you the diagrams. And again, they have an incredible multi-million-dollar business as well, and have done some amazing things with Neolife. So with that, I want to turn it over to you, Chelsea.
Thank you, Alan. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this challenge, and I just love seeing all the interaction with everybody. So what I get to share is how committed we are to radical recognition during this. And this is the fun part. As you guys have seen with, especially, I have my notifications on Telegram because I just need that encouragement all day long, seeing signups come in, seeing everybody registered. So I want to encourage you. I know it could be annoying, but maybe during this challenge to turn on your notifications for Telegram so you can stay inspired by what everybody is achieving. Because like I said, we are going to get radical with the recognition. We are not going to miss anything, anybody on this. We want you guys on top of that to be bragging about yourself, just like you're doing. You know, you're posting, hey, got a new club member, got a new promoter. We want to cheer you on. We want to be your biggest cheerleaders during the next 30 days. And we know it's just going to continue on from there. So I mean, you guys probably did notice that when you signed up for the Zoom, you got a shout out, a recognition, and that's what you're going to be seeing. We are just so excited and proud of each and every one of you guys for just taking initiative to be a part of this. So every step along this journey, as Alan just went over, whether you are going all in and crazy and going for that 100 conversations, whether you're going for the 50, the 25, please, please, please let us know when you reach that. Give a shout out to yourself and say, hey, just reached my 25th conversation, or hopefully that's going to be 100 for many of us, right? And so as you see, as people start stepping up to that core rank, we're going to give a shout out. You're going to see a leaderboard coming. And what we're going to do is as you reach that, we're going to put that leader in, say somebody hits that first, you're going to be on top of that leaderboard. So it's going to be, we said competition is a good thing, right? So it's going to be a little competition going back and forth. I know we're going to see that. But as you're getting close to those core ranks, whether you're at 25%, whether you're at 50%, whether you reach it, we want to give you that recognition because you're working hard. We know that community and staying close to Campfire inspires you, and it will keep us all going. So I cannot wait to see this all take place in the next 30 days. See these ranks reached at record speed, because we know that each recognition means a life is changed. It means your life is changed. And we're going to reach the masses because of this and because you guys are on here. So first of all, I want to recognize all of you being on here. Congratulations. This is the first step, and I cannot wait as we launch this into a powerful, amazing March Madness, I think is the name we should name this, because it's going to be just that. So, all right, back to you, Alan.
I love it, Chelsea. So good. Hey guys, I know we're right at the hour. Hang in there with me just for maybe, I don't know, 3 more minutes as I want to just close this out for us. And I want you guys to have the most successful week you possibly can. If you commit to 100 conversations or whatever number you commit to, you will be busy. Okay. You show people this business the right way, the professional way, the interesting way, the compelling way, and you will enroll some of them. So you say, well, what's the right way? Again, we've covered it. We're being a real human first. We're really genuinely caring about people and starting real conversations. And we're pivoting with great questions to help them find out if they're open. And if and when they are, or for those that are, we're going to connect them. We're a guide. We're a connector. We're going to direct them to a third-party tool, a Zoom, one of those Zooms next week, a video, the 5 key criteria videos if it's health related, the income with impact if it's business related, or whatever your favorite tool is, use it. If you're excited about it, you'll share it, right? A Facebook group, an in-person presentation, maybe some of you are doing. And anyway, and then obviously we'll get further down the road with you, but many of you may know, connect them to somebody else. And it was mentioned, Eric is doing it. Others are doing it. Connect them to a third-party person and let your upline, your sideline, your downline, whoever you're linking arms with, help you help the person see what you see. Okay. Let them, tell them stories, get their questions answered, get them in this incredible culture, get them in the Facebook groups, introduce them to the people. And guess what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Yeah. Some are going to join you. And, I want to just kind of you to think about this. I think we all believe Neolife is the best. We have the best products, bar none. We have a phenomenal compensation plan that pays great on the front end. Those of you that hit executive in your first month, we showed you can earn $1,000 in your first month. Okay. And we've had people do double that in their first month, but I'm just saying that's what can happen. And it pays great on the back end. There are people in their 3rd, 4th generation cashing the checks of what their grandfather or grandmother built, usually the grandmother anyway, or both. So we have the best community, don't we? The best culture. So my question is, why aren't we having more conversations? What are we afraid of? I mean, I've never been more clear. Josh and Chelsea, Dwight and Mary Lee, others on the call, have Nick and Lena, others you've heard from, and many others, never been more excited. We know what's happening this year. That's why this is going to be the biggest year Wisdom Builders and Neolife has ever seen. We are going to be an executive manager factory. Literally, it's just going to be an executive manager factory this year. They're just going to be spinning off in your team, in everyone's team, which creates more directors, more emeralds, more rubies, more diamonds. It's that simple. That's the way it works. Our promoters are going to be busting records that you won't even believe. You're going to break records you won't even believe right now. If I told you this is what you're going to be doing a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you wouldn't even believe me. But none of this works if you don't get really solid on what you're doing, get clear, get committed, and go with it. I want to leave you with this. You know enough. You may think, I don't know enough. Let's recalibrate, simplify. You know enough. If someone can go out and build double a core rank, we're talking about core rank here, executive manager. If someone we know mutually can go out and build twice this big a business in their very first month, not even knowing the names of our products, you know enough. Okay. You know enough. You're strong enough. You're powerful enough. You're skilled enough. You have the contacts. You know enough people, and those people know enough people, and those people know enough people. You have social media. You're learning. you're growing, you're figuring this thing out every day, you're getting better. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, and you're in it in this business. So don't ever let anybody make you feel less than, or you're not good enough. When you start facing your fears, like I'm having to do every single day, I'm choosing to do. And yes, I still have fears, plenty of them, and insecurities you wouldn't even believe. Exercising courage, telling your story, you will grow and you will succeed. And when you start talking to people like it's no big deal, you're going to say, man, this is no big deal. Man, this is fun. I get excited about this. And as we do this together, we're going to create the biggest, baddest story this company has ever seen right here, starting with the Wisdom Builders team. And that's why I put in the chat in the Telegram earlier today. And that's why Nicole said, tonight is going to be historical. We may not know it right now. We may not know if that's true or not, but you never know how historical something is. I mean, the greats of history didn't know how historical they were until, maybe a time later. So I want to ask you, are you in? Are you in with me? Yes. Are we in? Can we raise our hands since we're all muted up? We're in. I'm in. Tell me I'm in. I can read your lips. I'm in. Awesome. I'm glad. Let's go, Team Wisdom Builders. This Friday's Wisdom Weekly, do not miss. We're launching a free app that will blow your mind. Don't wait for it. Do not wait for it. Okay. But this Friday will blow your mind on how simple we are going to help you, support you in this business, and we're going to build from there. So we'll look forward to seeing you Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific on our Wisdom Weekly call. Bring your team if they missed out on this, because they won't want to miss out on that. Everybody have an awesome evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Have fun having your conversations. Bye for now.